All right. Before we start, just say something normal.
Jenkins was the criminal.
Oh, excuse me.
Bingo.
Get out of the way.
You proud?
It means you're a baboon.
And I'm
Talking about like a big bang.
Phenomenal cosmic powers!
I don't even remember the intro. It's been so long.
I think we say hello. Welcome.
Welcome. Hi to you. That was good. I think
great. Yeah,
nailed that.
We're on it.
Hello and welcome to Ross&MiKo. This is Ross.
Hello.
And I'm Miko.
Hello.
And that was quite smooth. We did
Thank you
that
very much.
there.
Yeah, right. Cut. Let's do that.
Yeah.
That's that done.
Join us next month.
Yeah. Well, we say hello again.
We are going to be doing another episode of Happily Ever After with Ross&MiKo, our Disney Drink Along podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's special because for the first time in a year, we're in the same place.
It's so
Don't
weird.
hit me.
I noticed we were saying earlier. It looks like I've got a tiny hand.
It
Like that. It's quite cool. So here we are. We are COVID safe, responsible.
Yep,
we both did our test this morning before we met.
Yeah, it's been too long. It's good. It's good to see all the things that are on your face.
Thank you very much. Not just
Up
you couldn't
close.
just say me. You had to.
It's
you had
so
to specify.
HD.
Yeah, so we are going to be watching the film that. Did you choose it or did our Twitch chat choose it? I can't remember.
Our Twitch chat actually chose this film for the first and probably last time because I don't like giving up power.
I know.
But I couldn't decide which film to watch. I had a few that I was thinking of, and so in the end, I let Twitch vote on a handful of options.
Oh, we should say a little bit of business for the people who only listen to the podcast or only watch it on YouTube or something. There's probably been a big gap. That's because our last podcast, The Fox and the Hound, had technical issues, to say the least. So that's why there's been a bit of a gap. But hello.
We were also we're going to do a short video about Fox and the Hound, just kind of recapping some of our favourite facts and stuff from it. Similar to what we did for Emperor's New Groove, so keep an eye out for that. What film are we watching today, Ross?
We are watching the film Moana.
Moana.
I said Moana.
I thought you were doing it on purpose.
I was thinking about Mulan.
Consider the coconut.
I love this film. This is you've only seen it once.
I've only seen it once. Really enjoyed it.
I've seen it more than that. We both love the water.
Do love the water. I love fish.
Great job.
Crabs. Comedy. I like rocks.
Consider the coconut.
But yes, we're going to be doing Moana. I am the keeper of truth, which means that not only did I pick the film with the help of Twitch, but I also did all the research, finding out all the fun, juicy things, and I've made up some drinking rules. So for anyone that's listening, watching along, and that would like to join in the drinking rules, we're going to get to them in a minute.
Let's show it off.
Ross is going to show what we're drinking. Do you want to show the cocktail I've made?
This is where it all goes wrong.
This is the heart of Fiti.
Yeah.
It's quite heavy, so be careful.
Look at this.
There
It's got a little penis.
Consider the coconut.
This is the heart of Fiti. It is
Science experiment gone wrong.
it is vodka, coconut rum, full strength coconut rum, pineapple juice, sparkling water, and some blue curacao.
Here it is in a glass. So he's drinking from a mug, so you don't see the pure juiciness of it all.
I'm drinking from a Jungle Book mug that says "Keep the wild in you."
And this is Ursula, but you can't quite see it because I'm drinking Ursula.
So I gave you that glass. I said it's related to the ocean, so that's good. There's another thing that connects Ursula to Moana. Can you think what it might be, Ross?
Tentacles. It's not the
Or
tentacles.
more specifically, what connects those two films in a more real-world way?
Oh, they're animated. I mean, that's a deep cut, guys.
Do you know who directed Little Mermaid?
I should do. Oh, Musker and Clement.
There you
There we
go.
go. I got there.
They also did Moana.
Did you see the self-doubt and
That was-
fear when I'm put on the spot? It's crazy.
Musker and Clements have done a whole bunch of Disney films, 7 to be exact. and I will be seeing if Ross can name them all.
I was
in
about to
order
say, please
later
don't
on.
ask me that question.
Get him to name them all in order, bonus points for years. Now, this will come back. We're gonna do this in the post show when we're drunk. To be clear, I haven't written down the films or the years, so I would need to double check. But I don't even know for sure. But I reckon I can do it. Off the top of my head.
you've got like a memory.
Yeah,
Whatever.
and I flaunt it.
You
in
do
front of you all the
every
time.
day. I'm like, I wish I had one of them. Where am I?
Where I long to be.
So there you go. That's the cocktail, the heart of Fiti. Nice green cocktail made
Now
by
you're saying the word Fiti.
Fiti.
I think that's where this is set. I'm presuming you did just make it up.
No,
Okay.
this is. Well, I mean, you'll find it. The heart
gonna
of
find
Fiti.
out.
That's the whole point of the film.
I don't remember things like that. We just talked about my memory.
Consider the coconut.
Oh, we could do that.
We can, yeah. Oh, I'll do it
Wait,
again.
it's off screen. No one can see it happening. I'll put it on your face. Wait.
Oh wait, my face.
Yeah. Your...
Hey, it's the heart of Fiti, and we do have drinking rules for it. So anyone at home around the world that is listening to this or watching this, whenever you are, if you would like to drink along to Moana, we are going to do specific drinking rules. If you have watched or listened to us before, you will know that we have the Disney standards, which are, if we can remember, any evil laugh, anytime there's dancing or singing, any
Parent death.
any dodgy missing dead parent things, any sidekick wisdom. What else have I missed?
I think that's about it, isn't it?
I think maybe dancing and singing were separate. So those are the Disney standards. Evil laugh, dancing / singing. Maybe that used to be 2, or maybe I've forgotten one. Psychic wisdom, dead or missing parents. So we will both be drinking for all happenstances of all of them, as well as some Moana specific ones, which I done come up with today. First things first, I love a name rule. I love when one of us picks a name and we try and guess which one's going to happen.
It's
most
the great. That's the big one where we're like, who's gonna say Pumbaa more than?
Yeah.
That Pumbaa one was rough, wasn't it?
yeah,
So yeah, what are the names?
Moana
How novel.
and Maui.
Maui being played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Correct.
Now he probably, if I remember correctly, is a bit of an egotist. Mm-hmm. So I think he likes his name being said, and he might be a god, so people might say his name
It's a
often.
demigod, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it's a demi-more. And so Moana, but then everyone shouts Moana, right? All the time, constantly. That's all the film is. It's like shrieking.
This is
Moana.
your recollection of every Disney film. It's just people are just shouting the names over and over again.
I'll go Moana. I'm gonna.
You're going Moana.
Thing.
Oh. So for those of you playing along at home, pick between Moana and Maui. Ross is going Moana. I will drink every time Maui is said. And here are the other ones. And Ross can pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can pick 3 of the 5.
All right. Can I get a bit of paper and a pen or something? 'Cause
I got it here. I'll keep you sorted.
Oh yeah, it's not
I'm
like
right here.
It's not like you don't shout at me every time something happens.
Exactly.
All right. What
Shout with you, not at you. I don't scold you and get you in
Around you.
trouble. Here's a big one that I don't think you'll pick, and so this is probably going to be one of the hardcore rules. Anytime someone says the word ocean, I think that's going to be a bad choice.
See, when I saw that, I thought you meant every time the ocean is on screen. And I was like, what are you talking
No,
about?
that's the kind of amateur drinking rules that people make. They do when they're hardcore. Anytime you see water, and then you can't keep track of it. It's not
And
possible.
everyone's dead.
Yeah. Any mention of Fiti? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime Hei Hei is on screen. As a celebration drink, I think you might want to do that one. That's
It's
that's
Alan
rooster.
Tudyk, right? Yeah, I'm definitely going to drink for Tudyk.
Okay. Anytime the ocean acts sentient, so does something of its own accord, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And anytime the word hook is said. So,
Yarr, you guys, slimy dogs. I reckon that might be said quite a lot, because I remember he's got a big
he's got a big hook.
He's got a big
that wasn't just a random word. that I
meat
picked
cleaver.
up.
Yeah, I thought you just liked the film Hook.
Yeah.
So what? I've got to pick 3 of them.
You got to pick 3. Anytime someone says hook, Fiti, or ocean, every time Hei Hei is on, so you've already got that one, so 2 more, or anytime the ocean acts
All right,
sentient.
I'm going to take a punt onto Fiti, just because I don't remember it from the film. I just made a guess that that's where it was from.
Yep.
And then one more.
Yeah. I think every time the ocean acts sentient is probably the easiest one of the remaining 3.
Do you think?
I'd say, but it's a guess.
All right.
So.
Well, I'm planning on getting a bus home tonight, so I'll go for that one.
Okay.
Unless you've tricked me.
I'm not deliberately trying to trick you, but I can't promise I'm not slightly mistaken. So, what that means is Ross will be doing the Disney drinking standards, plus every time someone says to Fiti, every time the ocean acts sentient, and anytime Hei Hei the rooster is on screen at all, celebration drink, as well as anytime anyone says Moana, the name of the film. He chose that.
I'm taking
Yep.
We'll see.
And I will be doing all of those rules, plus drinking anytime someone says hook and anytime someone says ocean. It's going to be fun.
This is going to be a good one.
Please drink responsibly. Know your limits.
Yes,
and,
these drinks can be non-alcoholic if you want to play along, or you don't have to.
Or you can choose as many or as few of those rules as you want. You do not have to pick all of them. Though if you do, please leave a comment letting us know. I'd love to know how that goes.
Consider the coconut.
So those are the Disney drinking rules. We're going to go and watch Moana in a bit. Before we do, is there anything in particular that you remember that you're looking forward to? Anything that you want to keep an eye out on? Anything that you're hoping will come up in the facts? Any questions you have?
I remember the big climax being amazing and really astounding.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Apart from the chicken being hilarious.
Well, there's a little fact I can give you. I'll give you the second half of the fact in the post show, in the fact side of the show. But for right now, I will tell you that Hei Hei the rooster was very nearly cut from the film. Very, very nearly cut from the film.
I remember thinking there wasn't enough of them, mainly because it's Alan Tudyk. I was like, oh, it's just... She's got like 2 comedy sidekicks, hasn't she?
Well, she's got 2 animal sidekicks, Pua and Hei Hei. But yeah, Hei Hei was initially written to be very different, and they cut him. But one of the animators managed to save him by changing them slightly, and we'll talk about that and so many other things.
So many things. I'm very excited.
Let's see the comments, see if there's anything we need to...
No.
How dare Miko only mention that Jango Fett was in Moana and not K250, K2SO?
Oh yeah, K2SO. So Alan Tudyk plays a robot in...
I thought everyone knew Alan Tudyk was in
Rogue One, yeah.
There you go. Alan Tudyk, the only non-Polynesian member of the main cast in this. And again, we'll get into this in the post-show, but they did so much work in trying to be authentic and make sure that they were honouring the roots of these tales and casting people appropriately and all this kind of stuff. And I'll tell you more about that in detail later.
So yes, we are going to go and watch film, get drunk, and then we'll be right back into the podcast to talk about all the interesting facts.
Yes, indeed. Good luck to everyone if you are playing along with the drinking rules as well. And we'll see you in a minute.
Consider the coconut. Consider its tree.
Hey, welcome back. We just watched the film Moana.
We did.
It was really good. It was amazing. It was powerful and moving and very beautiful to look at. I'm looking forward
so beautiful
to
so
the all the little stories and amazing
all
tales
the little stories
you're going to tell us.
Yes, I have a whole bunch of facts for you, Ross.
A big bunch.
A big bunch. A big collywobble of facts. I don't really know where to start, to be honest. So is there a particular... before we get into my facts, was there anything you noticed, anything you loved, anything particular you want to talk about?
Well, as I said at the start, I think because that was the biggest thing I remembered watching this the first time was just the epic scale of the end. So let's start at the end, and then not actually do that, and then we'll start at the beginning. But yeah, I really... I felt it again, and it's got this amazing personal... it's just so good. But yeah, let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the setting, because I think that's what you're mostly going to be talking about tonight, right?
I don't really know. What do you mean by that? Do you mean the fact that it's set in the Polynesia?
Yeah, the story, these people. Why did Disney choose to take the story on? Who was some of the leads? There you
Okay,
go.
let's
There's
start
some
at the
questions for you.
beginning.
Do you want to do the questions?
Yeah, let's start at the beginning. So, initially, this film wasn't going to be the film that Musker and Clements wanted to do. Ron Musker and John Clements, Ron and John, got that the right way around? Yep. Musker and Clements, as they're known to Disney fanatics, have directed and been involved in a whole bunch of the biggest Disney films of all time.
7?
7, in fact, yes. This is their 7th. I'm going to give Ross a quiz later, and one of the questions is, can you name the other ones? But yeah, this is their 7th Disney film that they've been at the helm for. And they initially wanted to do a very different film. They wanted to do Mort by Terry Pratchett.
Oh!
Yeah?
That's cool.
Yeah, which for anyone who doesn't know, Terry Pratchett's an amazing author who sadly passed away a few years ago. Very much recommend checking out his books and his worlds. He was the one who created Discworld. And Mort, I believe, from my little bit of research, is about someone who becomes like an apprentice to the Grim Reaper kind of thing.
Yeah.
Have you read it?
I think I read it in school.
Right.
But yeah, I've read a load of his books. This is a cool fact about him before we get into all the Disney stuff, and we can cut this out. But he, before he died, became a knight of the realm of the UK.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I don't want that, that's rubbish. Well, like, I'm not a knight.
Yeah, he was Sir Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, he was like, what can I do with that? And he was like, do you know what? I'm going to go to an ancient swords master, someone who's done the training through the years of making swords the old-fashioned way, like they did when they were knights. And then he was like, that's cool, I'm going to learn how to make my own sword because I'm a knight. Yeah. And then he was like, that's not cool enough. So he went and found some rare meteorite fragments, and they sparred. So he was a knight of the UK who built his own sword with meteorite fragments.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, he's super cool.
Consider the coconut.
Anyway, they couldn't get the rights to some of the characters in Mort, so Musker and Clements went to Disney with 3 original ideas for a story. One of them was Moana, and that was the one that got picked up. They had a passing interest in some of the Polynesian folklore, and they also really wanted to bolster the diversity of Disney's backlog. And by getting the A-OK with this, they got to go and do these trips to Polynesia, to Haiti and Samoa and Hawaii. And through that, they set up, I think it was called the Oceanic Story Trust, something like that. I'll double check that in a second, because my notes are all over the place. But yeah, they made this thing that was made up of anthropologists and educators and people that just basically helped guide the film and all of the aspects within it, and to make sure that they were authentic, from the language and dialogue and slang to setting and clothing and all this kind of stuff. So very, very cool.
Yeah, you really need that in a film like this, in this day and age, without it being cultural appropriation and a lot of people talking about something they don't understand. So.
Well, it's not just about, it's cultural appropriation. It's about the fact that 2 middle-aged white guys aren't going to know as much about Polynesian folklore as people from that area.
Yeah.
So, it just makes sense. And it's one of the things that's always made Disney and also Pixar really stand out, is the amount of research they put into their things, is the fact that they send the animators out to the areas so that they can observe certain things and stuff. So, very in line with the Disney mantra, and very, very cool. Any other questions or thoughts or theories to get started?
I mean, there's loads. Well, I was going to ask, because you mentioned at the beginning, before we did the thing, that Hei Hei was going to be cut but wasn't. I'm really curious to know why that is, and how it came back, because that's what one of the things, I love them both, Pua and Hei Hei, but Pua seems to got sidelined until the end of the film, and it's like, did you do one or the other, or did you do how did that happen?
So for those who don't know, Pua is the little pig. Here he is here, Pua, and Hei Hei is the really, really dumb rooster. Canonically,
here he is here.
Do you feel good about that?
No, I don't.
Consider the coconut.
So initially, Hei Hei was going to be cut. That was your question. That's what you want to know.
Yeah.
Hei Hei was going to be cut because he was actually going to be more of a Jiminy Cricket, I guess, but like more snarky. His role was to protect Moana on the voyage. But they found that it was going to be difficult to make the audience like Hei Hei, so they were just going to cut him. They felt like they've got Maui, they've got Pua back on shore, they don't need Hei Hei. Like he can be at the beginning, but he doesn't need to be a big thing.
Oh wait, sorry. So Pua wasn't going to be in it all the way through. Pua was going to get left behind. When
Pua was always going to get left. Initially, in some of the earlier drafts, I think Pua was going to go, but I think they decided pretty early on they were going to leave Pua back there as a symbol of being afraid of the ocean, because like almost like a kinship with her dad, Tui, who had tried to go beyond the reef, had had a terrible accident, and had been afraid ever since. So I think, in a weird way, I didn't see anyone talking about this, but this is my thing. I think that part of Pua's role is to make Chief Tui, Moana's father, more relatable and more enjoyable in a very subconscious way. Because you're like, hey, Pua is the same, and we love fucking Pua. So fair enough, Tui. You know, you had a bad experience trying to go beyond the reef, and you went, fuck that, and we get it. But yeah, Hei Hei was going to go on and be the smarky character, and then reports vary on who was the one that said, no, that's not good. John Lasseter or Muskin Clements or anything else, but it was the animator called Adam Green who saved Hei Hei. He came up with the idea of changing Hei Hei from a snarky, like conscience guardian role to being a fucking idiot. And so he figured out how that would work in the story, redesigned him and all that stuff within 2 weeks, and that was enough to save him. So shout out Adam Green. Without him, Hei Hei would not have been seen. So yeah, there you go. That's
cool.
And the whole Hei Hei and Pua thing, like there's so much that. So let's just jump into that. First of all, Pua and Hei Hei, pig and a rooster. You may have noticed.
I did. Is that some kind of weird euphemism or something?
It's a traditional pair of tattoos for sailors. Do you know why?
And absolutely not. No.
So they would normally get them on the top of the feet as well, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, the rooster and the pig are sailor tattoos, and the reason is
wait. Is it when they're learning what's port and starboard, pork and chicken?
That's so close.
All right.
But also completely not even remotely close.
It was worth a shot.
I love that you tried. God loves
I don't normally try. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. Yeah. It pleased me. No, it's because the livestock would be kept in wooden crates. So in the event of a shipwreck, they would float. And anyone that grabbed onto the crate and stuff would have a higher chance of survival as well. So they were seen as symbols of good luck. So it makes sense that they were sort of...
all right, I thought they had to remind themselves. They had to take off their shoes and be like, right, what do I do in an emergency?
Yeah. But no, there's that's probably why the pig and the rooster, but there is way more to Pua, the pig, than you may realise, and we'll swing back around that later on.
Oh my goodness.
But remind me, we got to talk Pua and how Pua might be more important. There's loads of theories out on the internet on why Pua didn't go on the journey and stuff, and I'd like to discuss some of them with you.
Nice.
But any other questions?
I mean, I've got loads. I know you've been peppering stuff, but I don't want to kind of get
it's
in
fine.
the wrong order.
Listen, you're the guest here. I'm the keeper of truth, which means you're the guest, which means you get to do whatever the.
So let's talk about the core of the story.
The core
of the story, which you mentioned to me earlier, and I didn't. And obviously, you were saying like, "Oh, but there'll be more about that." So. This is based on a true mystery, right?
Yes.
That actually happened. Can you explain, please?
Okay, so in a nutshell, the story of Moana is her ancestors used to go voyaging around the South Pacific, and then her family don't, and her village and stuff don't for as long as they can remember, and then but no one really knows why they stopped, and they need to start again. And in the story of Moana, it's to restore the heart of Te Fiti. But this is all based on a real historical phenomenon, which is the Polynesian people were the greatest navigators the world has ever seen. And for about 1,000 years, they seem to just stop. So about 2,000 years ago, they were sailing all over the South Pacific, discovering all these islands and stuff. And then for about 1,000 years, they stopped. And then about 1,000 years ago, they started back up again. And that's when they discovered New Zealand and Hawaii and stuff like that. So the best guess is that they just set up roots, right? They
became farmers. Why boat when you can farm?
If you find the South Pacific island that's good to live on, what's your motivation to go leave? Like, you got all the things that waste the coconuts, all this stuff, right? So that's probably the realistic thing. Is they went voyaging through curiosity. And through self-betterment and also through necessity from overpopulation and stuff. And then when it got to the point where they didn't really need...
Yeah, they're like, do we have to move on?
Yeah. So they just stopped. That's the theme.
But then the big mystery, well, not mystery, but is whether or not like they presumably kept that amazing skill for 1,000 years through spoken word and tattoos and however other ways they use it.
And then I was going to say pectorals, that's a muscle. Pectograms and all that. So they did, clearly, because it started again and they went off and sailed the world and discovered all these wonderful places. And even as recently as 2017... someone navigated the world the Polynesian way, which is being a wayfinder, which means navigating without any modern tools. So no compass, no telescope, no nothing like that. No maps, no satellites, no radio, nothing like that. You're using purely the sun, the moon, the stars, and the swell of the ocean. And up until fairly recently, it was thought to be probably just a myth and kind of impossible to have explored as much of the world as they did with just those means. But in 2017, someone sailed all the way around the world just using Wayfinder strategies. So we proved scientifically beyond doubt that it can be done. You just need to be very, very talented and informed on doing it. So yeah, pretty amazing.
That's so cool. So what about the other aspects of this? Like I love the idea of because obviously a lot of these islands are born of volcano and stuff. So so the bad guy in it, or the presumed bad guy, is some volcanic beast, and then to be not vanquished, but put to sleep again for the world to be calm again. Yeah. What's real about that? What's real about that? That's just an unreal thing, right?
So Polynesian mythology is amazing. So there is a character called Pele, who is the goddess of fire, I guess, who is often represented as volcanoes and stuff, and Namaka, who is the goddess of the ocean and water, and they. In some stories, Namaka eventually defeats Pele, but in a lot of Polynesian culture, they're still battling today, and that is the whole idea of volcanoes sort of erupting, and then they go extinct, and then they become very fertile lands from which greenery can grow and stuff like that. So a lot of islands in the South Pacific were previous volcanoes, including Motunui. And there's many clues that show us that, but including the black bits sticking out from the soil and the sand and stuff like that. That was a very deliberate choice by the animators to say, hey, this is an extinct volcano, and that's pretty good. And we live in Edinburgh, which is also on an extinct volcano, or we hope.
It doesn't look as nice.
No, it doesn't look as nice, no.
Consider the coconut.
So let's jump into a subject, Ross. Get your jumping hat on. So we can do voices, we can do animation and production, we can do Easter eggs, we can do music.
Let's do Easter eggs first, because like within the first 5 minutes of the film, you're like, you fools have no idea what Easter eggs are like.
Yeah, there's a lot of Easter eggs in this film, and And some people caught them. One of the people that was watching along with us, Creamy, noticed one very early on, which was Sven, the reindeer from Frozen, when Maui is first changing shapes with his hook. But yeah, there's a whole bunch more than that. So when Grandma Tally is showing the tapestries at the beginning to scare the kids, great scene, phenomenal scene. One of the people
we should talk about her more in a bit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. One of the tapestries that she shows is Marshmallow from Frozen, the big ice monster that Elsa creates.
Oh yeah.
There's Baymax makes a cameo.
No way.
Yeah, in the Kakamora, the little coconut people.
Ah.
So when it shows a bunch of them there, I mean, there's like 100 of them on screen, so it's not something you notice straight away. But one of them, their face is the Baymax face, which is really, really cool. Flounder from Little Mermaid makes an appearance during "You're Welcome," the song. There's a bit near the end where there's sort of like a 2D graphic of lots of fish, and one of them is Flounder.
I bet you the world. The people
that are like, they're connected.
Like,
proof, yeah. And we'll talk about some of these references and how people think the world's connected and debunk some myths, I guess.
Let's debunk some things.
Magic carpets in it.
Yep, you pointed
I pointed that out to you. Yeah, actually in it twice, but it's the same carpet. But yeah, they're beating the rug and then Pooh gets caught underneath it. And if you look closely, it's the same markings as the magic carpet. Because I was a bit skeptical of that. So I did do my research on that, and it's the magic carpet, which is really cool. Obviously from the film Aladdin, directed by
Musker and Clements.
There's another one for you.
Yeah. I think I got 4 or 5 in the brain, but I don't know.
At the end, and I think earlier on in the film, but the fact I've got is at the end, but I'm pretty sure I saw it earlier on, when the island starts coming back to life. One of the flowers that blooms is what's it called? The sunflower? No, it won't be just called the sunflower. The one from Tangled that Mother Gothel gets her power from, and that's there, which is really cool. The Clements and Musker, or Musker and Clements, depending on what part of the world
which
you're from,
one you want is the
which
best.
one's your favorite? Yeah. They have a habit, for anyone who didn't know, of putting themselves in their films.
Yes, because we talked about them obviously before in a bunch of things.
Yeah, and I will. I've actually got a picture, but you can see there's them in The Little Mermaid, there's them in Aladdin, them in Hercules, them in Treasure Planet, which I haven't seen, so I don't want to think too much about that. They're in Princess and the Frog, and there's them in Moana as written on a rug tapestry kind of thing. However, I thought I spotted them a second time, so I actually watched bits of this film through. I watched some bitches just passing by the window, by the bow. I watched bits of this film through, and I thought I spotted them a second time, and I'm pretty sure. So I did some digging, and I couldn't find many places confirming this or talking about this, but I did find one person that agreed with me. So in this picture here,
one person agrees with you on the entire internet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But that's enough. It's proof.
Guaranteed.
So just before they go into Chief Tui's hut, when they're all gathered around and he's showing that the coconuts aren't working, and he's like, "We'll build more groves and stuff." On the right hand side, you'll just see there's some totem poles.
I can just see there's a huge big red circle.
Yeah. That's around some totem poles. There's a short one, a taller one, and they look a bit clusker amendments. A bit clusker amendments. So I think that might be another one. But that's just me. I'm one other person on the internet. So here's the big one. Here's the biggest Easter egg in the whole thing. There's a couple more after this, but this is the biggest one.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
There's a character in this film from another Disney film that is now confirmed to be dead. A character was confirmed dead in this film from another Disney franchise. If you think about it, you might be able to guess it.
I don't know, because there was is it not the little turtle from Finding Nemo?
Crush is in there, yeah.
But
name's Crush. Mr. Turtle is my father.
I wish Pinocchio. I wish I hadn't eaten him. said that whale. No, I don't remember. Like what?
When it's blinking, you'll miss it. But I'll show you the picture. When Moana first packs up the boat to head out to sea for realsies, you can see in there the nose and hand of Olaf. You can see a carrot. It just looks like a carrot at first, but it's definitely Olaf's nose. And to confirm it further, there's a stick hand on the side of her thing that she's packed up, which means Olaf finally found out what happens to snow when it gets warm. And he melted.
I don't know if I'm comfortable with this level of like just put him in the film.
He is in the film.
That's not him.
Olaf is in Moana.
Consider the coconut.
The most famous one that's in this that I think a lot of people know or have heard about is Tamatoa on in the back. He's got all this treasure, and one of the treasure things he's got is the genie's lamp. Which we might have talked about in Princess and the Frog, because it also appears in that film. So, but yeah, it appears on Tamatoa's back, which led birth to many theories of maybe Tamatoa was a normal crab and then wished to be giant and shiny and all this kind of stuff. But it's probably just an Easter egg from Aladdin, which the film directed by Muscle Clemens.
Can we just, while we're here, talk about that giant shiny crab?
Yeah.
So there were things, a few things. So that's Jermaine Clements from
Flight of the Conchords.
Flight of the Conchords, doing the voice. He's great. I mentioned that one of the songs earlier sounded like a Flight of the Conchords song. I don't know if it was or not, but it just sounded like it.
It was not, yeah.
Did he write this one?
I don't know if he wrote. I don't think he wrote any of the songs. I think all of the songs were written by a 3-man team, and what a 3-man team! But he might have had some input on that. But yeah, it was very Flight of the Conchords. Let's look at the music people.
Yeah.
First of all, one person that you know is in it, because I told you while we were watching it, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Who loads of people know. He did the Mary Poppins sequel, Mary Poppins Returns.
Not seen it.
He obviously is most well known for doing Hamilton.
I've not seen it.
Which was absolutely massive. But he's always wanted to work with Disney. Little Mermaid was the film that made him want to be a songwriter.
Nice.
So yeah, he signed on to write the music for this film before Hamilton became a massive smash. So there's actually lots of times where he would be speaking to the crew and the cast backstage at Hamilton, often in full costume. So the other two people that were involved in the music, I told you one of them I think you're probably going to want to look more into, and I think you might really like.
Yeah, because you said I probably didn't know much about them.
Yes, and we're going to find out. I'm not sure. You're kind of weird with your music, so you might know about them, but I'm not sure.
I know what I know. I don't know much.
So one of them is Mark Mancina, who's a Disney standard. He produced and arranged the Lion King Broadway musical. He also did Tarzan in '99 and Brother Bear in 2003. So he's worked with Disney a lot, and so he was great. But the third one, the one whose music essentially inspired all of the soundtrack for this film, his name is, and I'm sorry if I murder this, Opataya Foea, or Foe, Hawaii, Opataya Foai. Let's say that. And he's an amazing multi-instrumentalist and singer, but he's most well known for being the frontman for Tavaka, which is a Polynesian group who mainly write songs about the ancient voyagers and all this kind of stuff. In fact, 2 of the songs in this film were written years before this film came out or were even thought about, and those 2 songs ended up being in the film, being re-recorded for the film because Disney loved them so much. So that one, when she first discovers her ancestors' boats and the sort of chanting and stuff's going on, that's one of them. And the other one where I was like, oh, I fucking love this song. And it's, yeah.
You were doing that a lot, though, to be honest.
That's true. I did that to most of the songs. That's probably not much help. So I'll give you the titles of them because I'm pretty sure I wrote them down. Yeah. An Innocent Warrior and Logo Tepate. Both of them were written by Tavaka before this film. So yeah, the 3 of them wrote the music for this film together, and
I wonder how rare that is in Disney. to be like, because normally and it's the same with like all creative processes. They're like, oh, we're doing a new Batman, right? Can we do it differently because it's my take and stuff?
Yeah.
And for Disney to be like, can we actually use these, rather than be like, can we do an impression of that?
Yeah.
And bring in new people. They're like, actually, just let's use.
The thing, I was doing some research that they actually weren't that big a band. They're now huge in international music, but I found a video of them in I think 2011, which was about when they wrote those songs, about 5 years before the film, at a music festival in Hawaii. Same music festival. It was like being in the jazz club in Edinburgh. Like it was quite small, and they were amazing. But like that kind of puts it into perspective of now they'll do stadiums and stuff like that. So they clearly did get like sought out and were amazing. And when they did one of their research trips, the music team, they went to New Zealand and did I've got it written down somewhere. I'll find it later. But a music festival they went to New Zealand. Opataya got Lin-Manuel Miranda on stage to dance. And Lin-Manuel Miranda didn't realise it was a competition, and he ended up winning. It was a Polynesian dance competition, and Lin-Manuel Miranda won because he's one of those annoyingly talented people
Damn
who can do
him.
everything. Yeah,
He must be stopped.
Consider the coconut.
and also there's loads of little references like could be interpreted as reference to other Disney films like Pocahontas when the chief twice, I believe, says to Moana, "It suits you." When she comes back from the voyage, and also when she first like decides to be the chief, he's like, "It suits you," which is something that the chief says in Pocahontas to his daughter when she puts on the necklace or her mother necklace. And also the in the song "Shiny," some people's favorite song, my least favorite song in the film.
We need to go into that because I think I know.
Yeah,
why.
they refer. It's a very fourth wall breaking song. But yeah, one of they have the line "Diamond in the Rough" in that, which again a very clear reference to Aladdin.
Is the reason you don't like that song because because to me that was Jermaine. So there's an episode of
Flight of the Conchords.
Thank you very much, where Jermaine Clements does a David Bowie or Bowie impression, and you were saying that is
one of the
homage.
questions in your quiz was "Shiny" was a homage to which famous pop star? So are you saying it was David
That
Bowie?
would be my answer because I mean it probably might not be, but he was doing a lot of his vocals like he did when he was Bowie in space or whatever.
Yeah.
That was. That's a terrible Bowie.
Yeah.
Bowie, hello, my name is David Bowie. Please give me some money.
Consider the coconut.
Yeah. Tamto was based on David Bowie.
Yes.
So well done. You've answered one of your quiz questions correctly. I don't like David Bowie.
Yeah, I know that.
So
Yeah.
maybe that is why I don't
That's-
like Shiny.
that's
It's
it.
hard to say, but let's dunk on David Bowie.
You
Or
can't-
Bowie.
You can't do that on the internet.
No,
we
I
get
know.
cancelled.
I know. Oh, everyone's going to be so mad at me. I'm sorry.
No, you're
He's
allowed.
just
He's
not
allowed his
that
opinion.
good.
Stand back, everyone.
Let's do your quiz then.
Okay.
We here?
Yeah,
We here?
we're here. We're
We're
proud.
here. I'm drunk. I don't know what direction we're going. Let's just do the quiz.
No,
All right. This was nominated for 2 Oscars.
this is your quiz voice.
Which 2 Oscars was it nominated for? I didn't win either of them, sadly.
Music and it must be animation, right?
Correct. I'll give you that. Best animated feature and best original song. How far I'll go. What a song. This was actually released in the same year as another Disney film. It was the first time it happened since another year, which I'll tell you in a second. First question. Do you know what film was released the same year as Moana? Second question. Can you tell me the last time that happened? So many bonus points if you can tell me one or both of the other films and what year it was in.
I think this has got something to do with something we've previously gone through.
Yeah, we've covered this.
So I think I probably said this out of my own mouth at some point.
Yeah, I think you gave me this fact.
Yeah, and now
In
you're
relation
bringing
to
it.
another
It's coming back and it's
Yeah.
slightly chewed. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thanks for this. I can't remember. So I can't even remember what year Moana came out.
2016.
So this is John Lasseter era. So the first John Lasseter.
Yum, 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 yum.
It must be Frozen or something.
This was not released the same year as Frozen. This was released the same year as often forgotten Zootopia.
Zootopia. Oh yeah, I forget about that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably
released,
why everyone forgets about it.
Yeah, because it was released the same year as Moana.
Yeah.
Zootopia is great, but
Yeah.
and the last time that happened was. Do you want me to give you the year or one of the films? I'll give you a clue.
Give me one of the films because
Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah, because we talked about that. Oh,
So now you should definitely know the year because this was your Keeper of Truth film.
Oh no!
So you should remember the facts.
What film came out?
What year was it? What film came out the same year?
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
No, I can't remember. It'll take too long for me to go through. I probably could if I used my brain, but I can't.
What year did Lilo and Stitch come out?
12.
Year 12.
Yeah, they were 12. Yeah, 12.
2002. It was released the same year as Treasure Planet.
Damn.
So that brings us on to Musker and Clements doing 7.
You unwittingly showed me 6 of them.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, so I did. Oh, I forgot.
But then I thought this isn't cheating because I think
It's
I already
not
got
cheating.
4 and then I'm drunk, so I probably don't remember.
Don't remember. Yeah. All right.
So I
So
didn't
now
mention
I
it.
want you to name all 7 in order.
And absolutely
bonus
not.
points
I
for
did
year.
Write that out. Right. Let me put them. Let me see if I can.
All right.
remember
Let's get them all out.
All right. So here's Moana. Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
There's Aladdin, Little Mermaid. Their passion project Atlantis.
Yeah.
And now I'm stuck.
Incorrect, by the way.
Well, really, Atlantis is not right. You said yes.
I said yes,
just
and then I
carried on.
realised you're wrong.
Oh, I thought whose passion project was that? That was one of them. Wait, it's the other way around because you tricked me because you used the word. You used the words. It's Treasure Planet.
Yes.
Tricked me.
I didn't trick you. You're a moron. That's not my fault.
Yeah, that's their passion project that didn't really.
2
flow
more. I
very
definitely know them now. That's cool. I wasn't sure if I'd remember them all, but I definitely know them.
Frog.
Definitely. Know
Hercules.
those. Yes.
I don't know. Is it a newer one?
No. It's the first one they ever did.
I've already said Aladdin, right? Well, Mermaid was first.
Mermaid was before Aladdin.
Yeah, Mermaid was.
This
was
was
the one
before Aladdin.
Did they do-
Before Little Mermaid, sorry.
Were they the ones that did Basil? Correct. I did it.
They did Basil. Well
I'm
done.
a moron.
Basil, let me see.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know if I
Basil
got this right.
first,
Basil, Little Mermaid,
Mermaid,
Aladdin, Hercules, Treasure Planet,
And then all the other ones we were talking about.
Princess and the Frog, and Moana.
Yeah.
That's your 7.
Nice.
86, 89, 91,
Right, you know
97,
your numbers. I don't like the numbers.
2002,
Stop it.
2009,
Wow.
and 2016.
Well done.
Someone's going to fact check that and I'm going to be all wrong.
Consider the coconut.
Here's a good one. Moana was a barefoot princess. You may have noticed that because of your foot fetish, you creep. There's 4 barefoot princesses.
I thought you were going to do like a weird rap thing there, and then
No.
you did that. And I was like, what
There's
the
4
hell?
barefoot princesses. Moana and which other 3 don't wear shoes throughout their films?
Oh, dear.
It's a good one. It's a good one, isn't it?
Who doesn't like shoes?
Who hates shoes? That's the question you need to ask yourself.
I don't know.
I was going to say I could give you the years, but that probably wouldn't help you. I think 2011, 1995, 4, 5.
Have I got Pocahontas in there?
Yes.
All right.
1950.
I don't know who wears shoes. 1957.
1950s. One in the 50s. I can't remember exactly what year. That's terrible.
I have no idea.
Aurora, Sleeping Beauty.
Does she not wear shoes?
She doesn't wear shoes in the whole film.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Is it weird? That's not weird.
It's pretty weird.
Don't wear shoes.
Only 4 princesses have ever done it. Aurora.
Was there a reason
Pocahontas,
for it? Is she
Moana,
like Die Hard? Like, the star Die Hard is that way?
And the final one you haven't mentioned is Rapunzel from Tangled. But I've got one more quiz question for you, Ross.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
This is the first eponymous princess movie since, by eponymous, I mean the title is their name. When was the last time that happened?
Well, wait, no, this... Alright, so when was the last time? No,
When was the last
I've got
time?
Cinderella, I've got Snow White.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But when was the most recent time it happened?
Is she
Pocahontas would count.
in your opinion...
Yeah, Pocahontas would count.
Gotta
But
check
no,
about
there's
his
one more
opinion.
recent.
Moana...
Correct. That's one of them.
Yeah, that's the winner. Spider Baby. I don't know.
I love that movie.
No, I don't know. Again, I don't want to waste.
It was the one that you almost said at the start of the film.
Spider Baby.
What did you call this film in the pre-show?
The Spider Baby. No.
Mulan.
Mulan. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me
1998,
about
I believe.
that.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
So there you go. Well done. You did very good in the quiz. You got 17 out of 8.
100.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Consider the coconut.
One of the people watching along with us live in the real times was asking about something that I teased on the stream, which was the fact that Moana couldn't have been a wayfinder because she was a lady. And the ladies weren't wayfinders. And it wasn't just sexist, women can't do things men can.
Sounds
There
like
was-
it.
There was a specific biological reason that men were considered better wayfinders. There was a skill that they could use their anatomy for.
They don't ask for
Directions.
Consider the coconut.
Moana wouldn't have been considered a wayfinder.
Mm-hmm.
In the real world, because she lacked a certain tool that traditional wayfinders had, which was the testicles.
Coconut.
Wayfinders, one of the ways that they would tell the direction they should go is through the ocean swells, and one of the ways they would tell the ocean swells is by sitting butt naked in the boat and feeling the ocean swells in their testes.
All right, so that makes no sense, but in the film where there's that joke where he's peeing in the water, that's what he's doing,
That's
right?
funny, yeah. That's I didn't even think of that, but that maybe,
he's got his junk in the ocean.
And we've talked a lot about how much Polynesian stuff they put in there. There's lots of characters and islands and stuff that are references to words or phrases within Maori, Samoan, Hawaiian, Tahitian, South Pacific culture. So Moana means ocean and blue in Hawaiian and Maori. Vaiana, which is the title of the Asian and most of the European releases, means fresh water. Hei Hei, Moana's pet rooster, means chicken in Maori. Pua means offspring or flower, and maybe short for Pua'a, which means pig. Maui is the name of a Polynesian demigod. Obviously, they kind of cover that. And it's the second largest Hawaiian island. Tui, which is Moana's father, is the name of a bird native to New Zealand, which is the home of Tumuera Morrison, who voiced Tui, who we'll get to in the voice section of the podcast. Tala, Moana's grandmother, who tells the legend of Maui to Fiti and Taka at the beginning of the movie. Tala means story in Samoan. Tala, the grandmother, that's also the goddess of the stars in a lot of mythology in Polynesia. And Tamatoa, the giant crab, that means trophies in Maori. So there's lots and lots of stuff there. Tamatoa is, lots of people think is meant to be like a coconut crab. Some people thought it was like a collector crab, which you might know about because I know you know about animals and stuff.
Oh yeah,
they're the ones that put like dead fish and bits of algae and stuff.
Well, it's normally trash from the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, they just put anything on there and be like, "Nah, look at me." But he looks more like a coconut crab, and in the song he says, "You can't expect a demigod to be a decapod," and then breaks the performance like, "Look it up."
Do you think? Again, this is a totally white boy stupid question.
You're full of that.
But there's that's what I am. I would define myself as one of them. But and they might have changed the names and stuff. But for stuff like this, when you go like, and the same with the Lion King, with the Swahili, and you go, oh, that means lion, and you're like, you can't have your mate. So if you're a Swahili speaker watching The Lion King, and they're like,
You're like, lion!
yeah, I'm Lion, and everyone else is called like Jeff and Joe or whatever,
Yeah.
or whatever their names are. You just think this is a bit shit. Like, it could like,
Maybe-
I'm happiness, or is it part of the culture?
I don't know. I
And
guess
I don't know.
we should speak to people that aren't stupid white people like us.
yes, yeah.
To find out their opinions on it. I mean, the reception of this film was mostly very well received within Polynesian culture, mainly just for the effort.
Yeah.
Like, there's some things that people would point to and say they didn't quite nail that, and or this didn't work, or was disrespectful, or anything else like that. But I think the general feedback was, you guys clearly put the time in and tried, and I think people really appreciated and respected that. So. But yeah, maybe some people felt that was weird or disrespectful or off the mark. But in Polynesian mythology, a lot of the, like, Tala means stars. A lot of things. So the goddess of the stars was called Stars.
Yeah.
The goddess of the ocean was called Ocean and stuff like so.
Yeah, and even within our own culture, or like our improved culture, you know, there's people called Hope, and there's people called Faith, and there's people called all kinds of stuff. So
I think it probably works, but who am I to say? I don't really know. Write in with your complaints to www.ross.com
/Miko at hotmail.the government.
Consider the coconut.
As I was saying, Tamatoa, some people think is coconut crab, because that's one of the most famous decapods, and the largest decapod, which if you haven't seen, I'll show you some pictures of.
Are these the ones that climb trees?
Yes, they climb trees, they crack open coconuts, and they're terrifying and amazing and beautiful. Look at that motherfucker. Look at that boy.
Crab's not bad either. That's yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen them before, and they raid bins as well. They have like
Here's one on a bin.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, they have like migrations, and then there's like a whole bunch of them go down.
Yeah,
down
they apparently do steal silverware and stuff like that from humans as well. They like the shiny things.
As they should. It's like Mother Nature fighting back any way they can, and it's just crabs because you're like, the rest of them are busy.
So there's a very obvious Lilo and Stitch reference when baby Moana, cutest thing in the world, right? How
Absolutely.
well is that animated?
That's a good point. Going back to our Lilo and Stitch podcast, that was one of the things very early on. We were like, Lilo and the other kids,
great,
so adorably animated, and then they've nailed it again with this and with CGI.
Oh
So
yeah.
cute.
Just her movement is so believable and adorable, and her little noises, and the real like toddler dilemma she's in of, I want the shell but I want to save the turtle thing. It's so well done. It's amazing.
And in writing, as we've said before, over and over again, the pat the dog moment.
Yeah.
Get it in straight away. So pat the dog moment, if you haven't heard, is if you want your audience to enjoy your character, the character you've created, even if he's a bit gruff on the outside, or she, or whoever, just have them be nice to an animal. Pat a dog. And then that's you, like, all right, they're the good guys. And so
if you've ever seen the cinematic classic The Room, that's the most famous example of that.
That's how not to do
Hello,
it.
doggy.
Oh, good dog! Slappy. But he tried that. He obviously read that theory and tried it, but it didn't work because the rest of it was a mess, and that scene was a mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how you do it. It's so adorable.
You're my favorite customer.
yeah.
So she does that, and that's a reference anyway to Lilo and Stitch, because in the credits of Lilo and Stitch, there's the image of Lilo helping a turtle get to sea with the leaf. So that's a very obvious one. There are some other connections that people try and make with Lilo and Stitch, because obviously it's set in Hawaii, and this is set in Motunui, but Polynesia in general. So people try and draw those lines. One of the things that I already know isn't a thing, and I know that you know it's not a thing because I've drunkenly ranted to you about it before, which is the fish hook. David.
Yeah.
David from Lilo and Stitch.
Sexy
Everyone's
man.
babe. Sexy David. We love David. Absolute hero. King among men. Great character. Completely forgotten and underloved by the Disney community, but a great character. But he wears the fish hook. And some people have connected that to Maui. the truth is that in all over Polynesian culture, it means different things in different areas, but the fishhook has been a long-standing symbol of things. And in fact, what we refer to as Scorpio, so see that where they see Maui's fishhook in the sky, that's not just completely made up for the film.
I didn't think it would be, because I knew
that's based on what we know as Scorpio. It's based on that constellation. People in the southern hemisphere consider that a fishhook. So that's a real constellation they had there.
I've always found that fascinating as well, but this is getting a little bit away from the film. But how they're like, oh, that's the big bear and that's the little bear, and you're just looking at it being like, that's just all. This is like an interpretation of.
So it's not actually getting that far away from the film, because the research they did into this film, not only did they know that wasn't Scorpio, but the fishhook and stuff. But they actually recreated the night skies that you see in it. Mind, there's a couple of scenes where we see the sky full of stars.
Yeah.
That's recreated to, as best as we can, accurately represent how the sky in that area of the world would have looked 2,000 years ago. Which obviously is not an exact science, but they've done the research on it. So there's a really cool thing. So with wayfinding, as we talked about earlier, other than using your testicles, the other main tool they would use is called a star map, but it wasn't an actual thing. It was looking at the stars and making a map from it.
Stories, and then her hand, she did the thing with her hand, and T was adjusting it to be like, now the horizon needs to be there, and then the star that's there, or something like that.
And have you heard it? Because this is the kind of thing, again, you might know about. Do you know anything about wayfinding or star maps or anything? So
only in Western culture,
So what they would do is the star map was basically like an eagle eye or a satellite view of where you were. It would create a circle around your canoe, right? You're right in the middle, and so the stars that you can see around you would be put into 4 houses, right? Split into 32 quadrants, right? So they would
it's
get
like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. So they would get the 4 segments and then the 32 quadrants. So they would figure out where things are, and that would tell you where north, south, east, and west is. Really, honestly, like, guys, go and do some research on Polynesian wayfinders, because they are widely acknowledged as the most supreme navigators in all of human history, and it's genuinely fascinating the stuff they managed to do. Because when you think about that area of the Pacific Ocean, because the triangle, as it's referred to, goes from like Hawaii to New Zealand to a third place. Triangles do.
The triangle you're speaking about is
not the Bermuda Triangle, the Polynesian Discovery Triangle.
I was going to ask you that, because we were talking about that. It's like how because obviously they were traveling.
You're talking thousands and thousands of miles.
Yeah, because you're like I think Easter Island is assumed.
Yes, Easter Island. That's the third one. So it's
mad. It's amazing,
fascinating, right?
Yeah.
And it was way before the Vikings and the European explorers and stuff like that. So
it actually makes a lot more sense to going back to Easter Island with those big heads, and like all through up until very, very, very recently, especially white historians would be like, well, it's impossible they come up with heads, it must be aliens.
Yeah.
Like, wait, really?
It must be aliens. We didn't know how to do it,
and
therefore no one knew how to do it.
They're just big stones that people
Consider the coconut.
So, like I said, they did a lot of research not into just Polynesian culture, but also Moana was really important to them when they decided to make her the main character, because she wasn't always going to be the main character. Did you know that?
No.
Maui was going to be the main character, and she was going to be put to the side to go and chase love, of all things. One of the things that makes this film so amazing is it's the first Disney film ever where the female protagonist has 0 love interest.
Hey, she loves her home.
Yes, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. But they put a slit in the front of her skirt so that she would have better movement, so that it was more realistic, that she could do all the fancy parkour and stuff that she does. On that note, all of the outfits that you see, not only her but everyone wear, are true to the time and the materials that they would have available to them.
Can I just, before we go on this, because this is really genuinely fascinating, but I need to apologise. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but I keep trying to lean that way because I'm so used to having hand rests on a thing. So
do you want to swap chairs?
No. Wait, that's not a chair.
That's a radio. I have a chair.
Yeah, that's a radiator.
Yeah.
You're going to sit on the radiator for a while.
Consider the coconut.
One of the most famous Polynesian people in the world is Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Well, he wrote the first version of the script for Moana. He's actually credited in the credits, which is the appropriate place to credit people.
He's so ridiculously cool.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating how cool he is.
Yeah.
Did you see... I'm not even going to say that because that's his business. I'll tell you after.
Just some personal business with Taika Waititi.
Yes.
Consider the coconut.
So one of the writers was called Jared Bush. By the time he wrote this, to give you an idea of just how much effort they were putting into making this work and to be authentic and respectful, by the time Jared Bush joined, there had been 700 drafts written.
This is a good thing that not a good thing, but I've noticed, especially our recent podcast, is do you know how long this took to make? Like, how fucked up was it?
No, this went fairly smoothly. Just a lot of rewrites and stuff. Like, it wasn't stuck in production hell as such.
Yeah.
It took
They didn't hire Sting.
No, it didn't get Sting involved. It was no Emperor's New Groove with this kind of thing, but there was just a lot of rewrites and tweaks, because they really, really wanted to nail. They didn't want to just be like, "Hey, we got the Rock in."
Yeah, let's talk about him because I know that there's very direct family stuff going on here, as far as I'm aware. Not with you or me, but him, The Rock.
What? There's direct family stuff going on.
Him, The Rock Johnson.
Him, the Rock. Him, the Rock.
Him, The Rock Johnson.
Consider the coconut.
He actually had a really cool quote in an interview. He said that he believed that voice acting was the most difficult career in all of acting, and he was personally annoyed, me and The Rock, together on this, when celebrities are cast in animated films despite voicing their characters badly. I am with you, Dwayne. I get really annoyed by that myself. A lot of people who are very good film actors are not very good voice actors. Those are different skills. Some people can do both. Most cannot. And it is we watched a cartoon saloon film called Secret of the Cows.
Yeah.
Loved it. Incredible film. Visually beautiful. One of the main characters in it. And this was a small production company based in Ireland. And they got the chance to get Brendan Gleeson involved, who's an incredible actor and Irish. Like, it all made sense. I understand why they booked him. It's a big name to attach to your film. However, he's not a voice actor. He's just not. He's one of my favourite actors of all time, but he's not a voice actor. And I think that's why The Rock did so well. Apparently, when he was on set, he was constantly acting the other voice actors if he was doing a good job and what he could do to improve and stuff. Which just falls in line with everything we know about The Rock, who's just an absolute inspiration for hard work. And
yeah, he wants to know how to be good, and he's so physical. It's like, you can be physical, but it's got to be through the voice.
Yeah, he's done that.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't need to, like, he doesn't come in and be like, I'm really good at this thing. He comes in humble, being like, I'm not great at this thing.
Yeah,
this
is awkward and weird.
Yeah.
I want to punch the mic or whatever it is.
How do I attach the dedication that lets me get up at 5 a.m. to work out on set to being the best actor I can be, being the best voice actor I can be, all this kind of stuff. So I thought it was really cool for the film to get a big celebrity in that really, really took it seriously. And I think he did great. I think he really did great. Even though he's not, I saw a lot of things talking about how he was a great singer. He's not a great singer. Right? He's never been a great, but he...
That's part of the joke. He's been like a big egotistical maniac, being like, hey, look at me.
So Lin-Manuel Miranda, Optaya, Mark Mancino, they wrote a film specifically for his vocal range and stuff like that, which is really cool. There's lots of cool videos you can see of them like really cheering him on when he's in the recording booth, like when he like nails it and just being like fucking yes.
He's
like,
not bad at singing. That's the
he does great. He's
again,
not
another
terrible.
really frustrating person.
Consider the coconut.
Elsewhere in the voice cast, let's read the voice cast. We've got Moana was voiced by Ulii Cravalho. Who was 14 at the time of casting. She was the last person to audition. They did a global casting.
They killed the rest.
And she got the role. The film was released the day after her 16th birthday, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Has she been in anything else? Or
Not really. No, it hasn't done a lot since then. She was in
probably saved her
Robertson.
life by not being a child actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably just walks into restaurants going, I am Moana! And just gets,
a little boat thing.
yeah. Fun thing about her, she's from a Hawaiian island called Oahu, which is just 50 miles from Kauai, Kauai. I wrote down the pronunciation. She's 50 miles from Kauai, which is where Lilo and Stitch was set.
Nice.
So Grandma Tally was voiced by someone called Rachel House. Do you recognise that name? She's not been famous for that long. She
Don't think so.
She played Terry in Soul. If you saw Soul, which is
did.
the little one that's like trying to get them in trouble. Fun thing I found. She plays Tui, which is the name of the chief in Moana. She plays a character called Tui in Sherwood. But she's probably best known as playing Topaz in Thor Ragnarok, which is Goldblum's female security.
Oh
person.
yes. Oh yeah, because she's one of Taika Waititi's best friends.
Yeah.
So he always casts her in all of the films. Now I
she's
get
been
it.
in the wildebeest.
I couldn't remember her name.
Obviously, Chief Tui is played by Temuera Morrison.
Temuera, I say Temuera. I don't know.
Temuera Morrison. So Temuera Morrison, Chief Tui, best known for playing Jango Fett, obviously,
amazing,
in Star Wars. But what a lot of people don't know is that through video games and TV shows and voiceovers, he even voiced over in Empire Strikes Back in the DVD release, he voices Boba Fett. So he actually plays Boba Fett more than Jango Fett throughout his career, but he's most known as Jango Fett. But he didn't sing. Which is rare for Disney nowadays.
I was thinking about
he
that.
didn't do the singing voice.
Yeah, because I'm not sure.
So the guy that does the singing voice is called Chris Jackson, who's one of Lin-Manuel Miranda's best friends. He's been in almost all of his things. He plays George Washington in Hamilton, if anyone's ever seen that, the bald guy. He's great. Fun thing I found on his IMDb, he had a bit part in Person of Interest.
Right.
Yeah, he played a guard called Pharaoh in a random episode of Person of Interest. Now, Cena, the mother, was voiced by a famous person who I think everyone listening now and in the future will know the name of. And I'm not sure you will, and I'm interested to see. Nicole Scherzinger.
I've seen that name on Twitter. And I assumed it was a type of vaccine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you want Pfizer or Nicole Scherzinger?
Yeah, they got the zinger rather than the Pfizer. I don't know. Who's this person?
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? No, she was in the Pussycat Dolls. She was the front singer of the Pussycat Dolls.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
she was Pussycat Doll, but I think she did really good as Cena. She hasn't done a lot of acting or voice acting or anything.
Yeah, she was really good. Yeah,
she often plays herself when she's doing cameos and things like that. But yeah, she did great. I really loved the scene. I said this while we're watching it when Moana's packing up her stuff. And then her mum comes in.
Oh, it helps her.
And just quietly just goes over.
Because that's the start. That's part one of the two-part parent trust. Her mum goes, yeah, you've got this. And then at the end of the film,
because she's in this impossible thing of like supporting her daughter, but also supporting her husband and understanding both sides of it. And I thought that was a really nice but subtle point in the film. Really, really liked that. And of course, you've got Jermaine Clement playing Tamatoa.
Present.
And Alan Tudyk, the only non-Polynesian member of the main cast, Alan Tudyk. And I said I had a question for you. He played Hei Hei.
Mm-hmm. Oh
rooster.
Yeah, what's the other?
He also played another character. Any guesses?
God, because so I don't know. Did they give him an actual line somewhere?
They did give him an actual line.
Yeah.
And it's great. So he plays Hei Hei the rooster. He also plays the villager that suggests cooking him. He's the one that's like,
kill my career. That's classic.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was really fun when because I knew he played Hei Hei. I didn't know he played him, which is really cool. He's credited as like Villager 3, so I had to do some digging to find out who's that.
Only imagine googling Villager 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then find out it's him. So I thought that was really, really cool. When Moana sits up in the sand in Maui's island, and we were all like, the animation there's amazing. That's actually a copy of when Anna sits up in Frozen when the alarm rails and she brings up and her hair's everywhere and it's like So it's a similar. They've reused the model, but obviously with advanced hair things.
Advanced
which,
sand.
Yeah, sand in there.
Technology.
Sand technology. Which I'll talk about in a second.
Because if that gets out of hand, if AI becomes sand technology, we're all doomed.
Yeah, Sandian.
Consider the coconut.
So, I said earlier that in Asia and a lot of Europe, the film was renamed to Vaiana. Now, there's a bunch of reasons in different countries with trademarks and stuff like that, but the main reason is the character Moana was changed to Vaiana in Italy. And the name of the film in Italy was changed to Oceania. And the reason of this was very simple, and this is what caused all of the other places to change the name. It was because there's a fairly famous Italian porn star called Moana Pozzi? Moana Pozzi. Pozzi or Pozzi, I'm not sure. And they were worried about people Googling Moana in Italy and getting, because it's quite a unique name, and getting this coming up. So they changed her name to Vaiana. In fact, a lot of the actors had to come back in and revoice the lines for that.
Oh, just like having drunk for Moana every time they shouted Moana.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
They probably just said the line once and they just kind of...
Yeah, just put it back in every time. Moana.
Yeah.
Vaiana.
Oh, we need to talk about the coconut people. You know about the coconut people.
The Kakamora.
The Kakamora. Because I loved them. They were great. And then you were like, oh, there's a thing about that.
The Kakamora, it was interesting trying to look up them because in a lot of Polynesian culture, stories kind of vary because it is such a large area that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of them have stories of Maui and the Kakamora, but they vary slightly island to island and stuff. So some people were offended at the representation of Kakamora. Most people were not. They're generally considered to be a mythical people anyway. But the idea is that they're tiny people. And in this film, they are protected by coconuts. So they are real creatures.
Okay.
They're not sentient coconuts. They're using coconuts as armor.
Yeah, they maybe didn't display that as well. I
don't think they were. I think they were trying to go down more the magical coconut.
Yeah, the comedy coconut route.
Yeah. Which I think really worked. But the Kakamora were also the inspiration for Studio Ghibli. Is it Spirited Away or Princess Mononoke? The little forest creatures.
Yeah, Spirited Away.
Based on that.
No, that's Princess Mononoke.
I think it's Mononoke.
Yeah, Mononoke, yeah.
So yeah, there's people that were pirates and they would steal and they would murder and they would cannibalize and stuff like that. So they were like a feared tiny pirate people of Polynesia, but they're widely considered to be mythical. So yeah, that was quite interesting. I really liked that, and obviously it was very Mad Max Fury Road.
Waterworld, come on.
Yeah, very Waterworld. Yeah, exactly. Which was Mad Max and water, and because this was made before Mad Max came out, so it wasn't. Some people wrongly.
Wait, the new Mad Max, though.
The new Mad Max.
Yeah, it wasn't made before the 70s.
No.
I'd be like, wow.
So it was a deliberate tribute to the Mad Max franchise and world, but some people were saying it was a rip-off of or a tribute to the new Mad Max, which it wasn't because it was already in production before that. So there you go with that. Here's a fun little fact.
Oh, it better be.
Moana's island is called Motunui. In several Polynesian languages, particularly that of Rapa Nui, Easter Island, Motu means island and Nui means big. At least 2 real-life Pacific islands are named Motunui. One just off the coast of Easter Island and the others in French Polynesia, and both are less than 1,000 feet across. So I quite like that. Yeah. When Maui transforms into Sharkhead, Sharkhead Maui, his stomach tattoo changes to him with his shark head holding his hook. Really nice, a very, very subtle little thing, but I really like that.
Yeah, I like that whole tattoo thing is really cool. And
do you know that was 2D animation? So it's the only part of that film that was actually hand drawn.
How dare you miss this out? This should be the 8th.
I'm getting there. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool.
It's very cool.
Why did they do that?
Because of the way tattoos work and the color of the skin and stuff. They thought that would be the best way to make it pop. Is to do that.
Well, I suppose it doesn't need to be. I suppose 3D and
so that's all hand drawn. All of the tattoo stuff. In fact, initially they were thinking of using what's known as the meander technique, which we will know better as the Paperman style.
Oh, Paperman. Is
Right,
great,
Paperman, for those that don't know, was the short that I think was before Big Hero 6. It's a Disney short. If you've got Disney Plus, check it out. It's amazing. It's basically like 2.5D. It's half drawn and half CGI. It's amazing, but there's some problems with it with the color more than anything. So they were initially going to make the whole film using the meander program and style, but they eventually went with the full CGI.
All right, so in this film, there's a lot of very beautiful things.
Yeah.
One of them you mentioned earlier was the hair that she had when she came up from the sand.
Yeah.
And, the other one is just the way that the water works and operates.
Yeah, the water's incredible.
It's stunning. Is there anything they did?
Yeah, so you know that Disney has a history of essentially inventing new animating programs to justify some of the scenes they want to do. So famously, the Stampede scene in Lion King, the avalanche scene in Mulan. Whenever you've got a lot going on like that, that's very difficult to hand draw. And even when they went in CGI, so in Frozen, to do all of the ice effects and the snow effects, they invented a program called Matterhorn. And for this one, they designed and built a program called Splash for the water effects. And they had another one for Moana's hair, which they took some of the stuff from Tangled that they used for Rapunzel's hair, which was obviously a big challenge. And then, they just took it to the nth degree. So, they had 2 new animation programs in this film that had never been seen before, which is why it looks so amazing, and which is why other studios can't do that.
I'd imagine the way that works is that it's just going to get more and more insane because, like with Pixar, I remember Monsters Inc., and they were like, we had to make a whole new thing for Sully's fur.
Yes, yeah.
And they're like, all right, so what are you going to do for your next film? And they were like, oh, we'll take that AI and then give it to the same person and be like, right, you've got another year, make that better.
Yeah.
And then so these things kind of are snowballing until we're all ruled by AI.
It's
great at animating.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I did tell you during the film that they actually tweaked Moana's character based on Cravalho's real life mannerisms. So she touched her hair a lot. Apparently, she rambles quite a lot, which is really sweet. So
they've done that before. That's the mark of a really good director as well. Like when you see an actor who's kind of becoming the character, you're like, right, we're going to steal that.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
him.
I like that. In the song "You're Welcome," there's a bit where Maui takes a coconut and rolls it down his arm and flips it up with his elbow. Did that remind you of anything?
Aladdin,
with also
apple.
directed by Musker and Clements.
At
With
the
the
beginning,
little
yeah.
apple. With the little apple. I thought that was really cool. See when Maui is jumping into the realm of the monsters, and also a few times through the film he says "Chee-hoo."
Mm-hmm.
Chee-hoo! That's like a Maori expression, or there's a Samoan expression of excitement, like a wahoo kind of thing. And it's often said in Hawaii, and it's just quite cool that they again put that little thing in there.
That's cool.
Rather than saying Geronimo.
Do you know anything about, or did you look into anything about? Sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot here.
No worries.
It's too much. It's entire culture.
It's a lot.
This is
a lot.
This is 100 years, and you'll still wouldn't. I was just wondering about the dancing. You really need to pee.
In a bit.
You're dancing right now. It's not for the reasons.
For you.
All right.
Consider the coconut.
So did you catch anything about that? And were they accurate with the movements and stuff like that?
Again, all done from the research going on, doing lots of filming, speaking to lots of people, talking to the Oceanic Trust Advisory Board, and figuring out what are real things to do rather than the Western idea of what Hawaiian dancing is and all this kind of stuff. Other than obviously when the wee guy comes in and starts busting out Michael Jackson moves, which is a great scene. So one more thing I'll tell you before we get into some discussion topics and we wrap this up. I said when we're in the realm of monsters, the creepy four-armed, terrifying thing was a remodeled character from another Disney film. I don't think you'll guess it, but
I don't think I will, because it reminded me of, and I know this isn't the actual answer to your question because it's not a Disney film, it's a Disney released film,
right?
But it reminded me of Spirited Away when what's his face
gets
the mask,
faceless thing,
and it gets like into the spider realm of their
it's very similar to that. It was actually a remodel version of Flash the Sloth from Zootopia, the one that
I've only seen that once and I don't remember it that well, so I don't know.
Really slow, like, I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell from it, but yeah, it's just a fun animation thing. They just used that model again. So a couple of things to talk about before we wrap up. That you might have some thoughts on and you might not. You probably won't. We're a little bit drunk. We'll see how it goes. First of all, there's no humans, I noticed, that speak to or meet Maui throughout the entire film other than Moana.
So you suggesting she drowned when she was a child?
No,
or just kind of went away on a little, like, got floated away and came back, and this is all in her head.
I'm suggesting it could be like a Dumbo's magic feather kind of thing.
I like that, because obviously they're talking about religion and all this kind of stuff, and it's all very personal, and it's her. They don't need to. They need to believe in her. They don't need to believe in him. And because in fact that would be bad as well, actually, if they believed in him, because then he'd end up doing the same thing again. Yeah. So it works. It
works for both of the characters, for sure. But I really like that. It was something that I think a lot of people might not have picked up on, but it's an interesting thing of was Maui real? She didn't mention it, but and I don't think she needed to. Like, he gave her that confidence at the end, saying like, "You are an expert wayfinder."
And then her dad was like, "Actually, I'm an arsehole." Like, it was more about like, it's a fascinating thing about the pass down of faith from a god, if they exist, to the person who believes in that god, and then to everyone else who lives around them. It's like, well, do you have faith in this person? Then what does it matter about the next stage?
Exactly. A fun thing that I didn't see anyone talking about, but I noticed when we were watching, is Grammatala. She dies shortly after she gives the stone back to Moana. Like, what if that is magic? Like, it's the ocean protecting her and stuff like that. Like, and she's obviously got away with the ocean. Has she always had that, or did she only have it when she was holding the stone for Moana? Because she obviously picked it up when Moana was a baby.
Yeah. I think she knew what she was doing. She was like, she
didn't seem surprised when she came out of the ocean.
Like, she was dancing in the water, being like, "You're old enough and you're wise enough."
I love that line where she's like, "Is there something you want to say to me?" He's like, "Is there something you want to hear?" It's such a good. That's such a good line.
She was like, "I get to move on to the next stage."
Yeah.
And you get to move on to the next stage.
Yeah.
We can do this. It's
it was very cool. I really, really loved that character. They did it so well. And there was a theory online done by Matt Patton, the film theory people, which was quite interesting, where they found that Sina, the mother, there's a character in Polynesian mythology called Sina, who was loved by an eel, and went to complain to her husband about it, and her husband was called Maui, and not just any Maui, but the demigod Maui, and Maui killed the eel, buried it, and created coconuts, which is a thing that's actually mentioned in the thing, which could suggest that Maui is Moana's dad.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that coconuts are fish, technically a fish.
No, I was going to say that suggests that they were at the very least at one point married, and also, but I mean, it doesn't work out with the timeline with the Moana because they haven't sailed for generations, and that was because of Maui. So that's probably not the case, and it's probably just a reference. But a really cool thing, if you do want to go down that route, Sina and Maui did have a son called, see if I remember this right, Kamapua'a, which was a kid that was noted to have looked like a pig. Kamapua'a.
Kamapua'a. It's the double otherwise, because then it would look like a rose.
Yeah, blossoming or something like that. Yes, I had that earlier. So well remembered.
Thank you very much.
So that could mean that Pua is Moana's brother. and Maui is her dad. But that's a crazy theory, but it's there, and it's probably just people connecting dots from mythology and all that stuff. I think all this stuff is in there on purpose, but not necessarily to be connected
in the
to
right
more of a
order.
tribute.
Yeah, they're kind of trying to stuff everything in because then you're like, well, that does that just defeat the purpose of the film if you start to do that? It's like
you get crazy with it.
Yeah.
So so the drinking rules worked quite well. I think they were some of my more lenient ones. There were moments where it was
it was really I don't know.
I think the names were cruel. I think they were quite well balanced though. Moana and Maui, they each had their moments of like Moana, Maui. But overall, it was okay. Ocean wasn't said nearly as much as I thought it would be because they said a lot of sea, they said a lot of reef.
But what was good about Ocean was it was a double. It was a
because
double
it was
whammy.
usually related to the ocean acting. In a certain
so
way.
you're like when they talk about the ocean.
Yeah, that's
when
essentially
the
two
ocean is-
fingers right there.
Yeah. So that's quite a neat rule.
I think drinking anytime you saw Hei Hei was a really fun, silly rule. That was quite a harsh one, but it was really fun because you did feel like you were just celebrating Hei Hei the rooster, which was cool. And to Fiti was a good one to keep you on your feet because that gets said a lot.
That one's brutal,
Yeah. So yeah, overall, I think it went well. I think the rose went well. I really liked the cocktail.
It's really nice.
I drank more of it than I
I'm
expected.
looking at it here. There is more. Sorry, I put it up there because Kira came in.
It's at that kind of level where it's kind of hard to pour it now.
Yeah.
You need to kind of pour it forward for the
You have to give it to your neighbours.
So yeah, anything you wish to add?
No, I can't wait for the next one. This has been way too long.
It's been way too long.
You did amazing. I loved, like we kind of went into some stuff that we don't normally go into, which was really cool.
I felt like this was a slightly different one, like just talking about the culture and the history and
I don't think we mentioned it, but the bit where she starts as a baby starts walking into the ocean and the ocean is letting her in.
Yeah.
And you don't know if the ocean is a good guy or bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously it's like coloured is lovely and there's really beautiful things going on. But you're like, that could just
could be terrifying.
That could just go do that.
That bit where
I said do that.
That bit where her dad's coming. And the animation of where they move, they get the flower, they like get the thing to go under her bum, they put her out like that's so cool. There's like 7 hands like working together to like it's just great. And yeah, the water effects all the way through it. Some of those scenes, the way they use How Far I'll Go as a repetitive song throughout the film to tell a slightly different story every time that really shows her growth. But every time it's got that driving, I can do it. Like
this is me now. So it's like you need to go over there, and she's like, I'm going to go over there, and then it's like you don't go anywhere because you're done. And she's like, I'm done.
Yeah,
don't get me to write songs because
I'm done. It's a
I'd start at I'm going over here.
I'm done.
No, because then there's the second.
Oh, the second act, I'm going over here.
Oh no, there's a bit of trouble.
Oh, I overcame the trouble.
I'm done.
Yeah.
That's essentially it. But it's done in a good
way.
That
I get so emotional at that bit where Maui's left. The heart of Tafiti's fallen into the ocean, and she's really given up. And then she speaks to Grandma Tally, the best character in all of everything ever. Love her, so good. And then and she starts singing and she starts seeing her ancestors and then just the bit and being like, I know the way, I am Moana, and it's it gets me right here. It's so empowering and awesome, and I love it.
Beautiful.
Right.
Thank you very much.
No worries at all.
Consider the coconut.
So that was Moana. That was from Moana, famously. And that was him, the Rock Johnson. That was all these people in there.
Yeah.
And that was Happily Ever After with Ross and Miko, episode 10 maybe? I think it was going to be 11, but it doesn't matter. You'll already know the number. You've already clicked on the thing and it'll have had the number there. It's that one. And we will be back next month with a new one. You will be the keeper of truth.
I'm going to be the keeper of truth. I think I know which thing I'm going to do right now. Yeah, unless people want me to do a Twitch thing where they get to vote. But I think I want to. I think you should choose. I think you should. Yeah, I know. I will. We've been doing it. We've been circling around. Wait, no, circling around the drain makes it sound like it's a bad one. We've been
We've been-
circling around the upper atmosphere of it for a while, and I think
There's a whole, but that describes so many. I genuinely don't know what it's going to be. There's a few that we've been talking about for literally years.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. So Ross, you'll be Keeper of Truth. We will announce that on our Twitch stream, twitch.tv/RossMiKo. Go check it out within a couple of weeks, and then we'll be getting going on it. And I can't fucking wait. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been Moana. This has been Happily Ever After with Ross and Miko. This has been Ross.
Bye-bye.
And I've been Miko.
Bye-bye, Miko.
And we'll see you soon. Stay lovely. Bye, friends.
Oh, sorry, I should wave.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
not
too
doing
late. It's
weird
too late.
faces. No, don't edit that out. Don't edit that out. I'm happy.
Bye.
Let's do this.
Tingle.
Get out of the way.
It
means you're a baboon.
And I'm
I'm talking about like a big bear.
Phenomenal.